1, 2, there we go. Hooray. Sorry about that. Tons of weird little technical things again today. It's common now. Hope everybody's doing well. I am sort of been busy, have been busy, but we also had my mom's birthday this weekend, so we hung out with her and went out to a meal and gave gifts and had cake, no ice cream. Hey Chad, how you doing? I do not understand certain elements of this stuff. Like, it shouldn't be a problem, but we still have issues. I mean, there was tons of sign-in issues again. This Mac is the worst. But it's not just the Mac. I feel a lot of the machines we have are signing me out of everything constantly, and I don't quite understand why. I mean, I do have lots of Google Chrome accounts because, Google accounts because we have several work ones, and we have my personal, and something else. There's like 4 accounts. I think I have like one I took for myself that is my name, but I never used it, just to make sure I had it if I needed it. But it has been at least 20 years, 15 years? Oh, probably 15 years or something like that. And I've never used it. Silly. I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Zako. We had a crazy busy week, though. And Nikki has been doing a bunch of stuff, and then tomorrow she's got to go to get her hair done, and it's going to be crazy busy. We also have a team meeting next week. So there won't be a stream next Tuesday because Derek and Nikki and I will all be on a call for a meeting, which will be good. But it's been crazy. Lots of stuff happening. Really a strange and wild time. Let me see here. Oof. There's all these weird things. I'm not even certain what's in the, oh, I know what these are. They're little glass. I have one of them opened. They're really awesome little mixing. I'm sure they're like lab deals. Here, let me cut to the lower camera. Let's see if it works. Derek had to jump on and fix some things. It was weird. I had a weird day. So yeah, these little glass mixing. They're 5 milliliters, but they're great for mixing paints for the airbrush. I've actually used them a few times. And I'm really kind of happy to have them. Let me switch glasses. We spent the weekend vibe coding apps, which was super fun, and getting a smidge of painting done. Awesome. I wish I had painted. I painted these last Thursday, and I have not even planned on trying to get in here this morning, but my grand plan was kind of thwarted by the technical issues. Very weird, like just tons of little. Plus, I think the birds are going crazy. I came out of the house this morning and they were just flying around and going berserk. We have been, obviously it's probably nesting time now and everything. We had some birds trying to move in and into our porch. And I'm like, I don't want birds jumping out of the nest and flying around my hair. So we blocked it so they couldn't build it. But man, they were very persistent. They were just sitting there a lot. And then like the female one, and they weren't there during the day. Although towards the end there was like some serious effort to start to build a nest, and that was it. Put up some mesh, and because our porch patio, the porch roof is right above my head. Like 7 feet or something like that, or maybe a little bit less or a little more. But it has been a crazy amount of stuff happening. I hope everybody's at least having some fun. I keep hearing things. I'm not really certain why the audio didn't work. So let me get to the photo of what we have here. How's Doris doing, Chad? I have so many tabs. That's the one thing I feel that's okay with this, is it does a pretty decent job. I'm just logged out of everything every time. I keep getting logged out of the work one, which that one makes a little bit more sense. But I have a tab here that has the Marvel stuff. There we go. Hey, and it shows that I'm logged in. Whatever, that one's great. Why that one didn't log out. But I'm doing Maestro, which I don't know. I'm having fun with it though. It is different. He looks like he has like purple armor around his what is this here? Am I on the vMix call? I guess I am. No, that's, I'm rolling now. What is going on? Maybe I'm on 2 vMix calls. That could be. vMix is the software we use to remote control our streams. It's pretty amazing, but it has its issues. What is that? Boy, I'm not used to multiple screens in Apple. That is for sure. I mean, I've been using this for 2.5 years, 3 years, but I just cannot figure out what is going on here. Where's the other Explorer or Windows? Oh, there it is probably. Yes. Am I on 2 vMix calls? It sure looks like it. Okay, well, let me get the other one out of the way. That could have been part of the reason I can't find all of the, you know, the little on the bar on the bottom of Macs. I don't love it. You know, I just want to be able to tab. She's okay. I hear her yelling at people in the office. That's pretty funny. Doris, she's a doer. So yeah, I really would have liked to have painted. I had a lot of hopes of getting some stuff done, but it has been busy. Now I've lost my photos. Oh no, there it is. I should merge these tabs. Can I do that easily in this one? No. Perfectly fine. I was talking about doing the hair though too. That might be fun. Hey, I noticed I got some green here. Fantastic. Let me get some of these other things out of the shot so it will try to focus on this more easily. I did see this weekend that they closed a ride at Disney World. I guess it's in Hollywood Studios or whatever it's called. Man, I got green all over the place. What was I doing here? The Hollywood Studios, there was the Aerosmith roller coaster, which I had never even heard of. I think that came out early 2000s. I hadn't been to Disney World in much longer than that. And but it was a great roller coaster. Holy cow, we were really knocked out. Now, what did I do? There it is. But I felt it was about, it's been the rides for me a lot lately. It was like 20 seconds too short because they had this deal where at the end, it's like they just finished the show and I'm like, yeah, do an encore. You know, do one little last, I mean, thematically, that would be fun. One little last burst through this stuff, and they did not. But it's now going to be I don't know what they're going to do as far as retheming it. I imagine the ride will mostly be the same, but it's going to be Electric Mayhem, Muppets Electric Mayhem. I've been having issues with my Mac hooking up to a larger screen. I have a 38-inch curve and as a primary, and while my PC is fine, the video from the MacBook just hates shooting out to it. Frustrating. Hey Amanda, how you doing? Oh no, I got to get Amanda's schedule in. I started last night and then we had to eat and I didn't get back to it. I will fix that, Amanda, before you go live. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's been crazy. And we don't, our team is different. We have lost Eric, and he's one of the more, obviously helpful for publishers, and we've just been having some troubles with that for things, for me anyway. And I'm trying to be helpful. Wow, this is not gray enough. Let me put a little gray on the palette too. But yeah, the Mac, I'm not a Mac, I use Macs. I have used Macs for decades. but I do not care for them. I never have. I am much more of a PC person, and I would much rather use those. And you know, they have tons of their problems as well. And you know, no computer's got it all figured out, that's for sure. I did change my palette. Gosh, I do think these nozzles, people don't love them. The only thing is they don't close. They do, but if you over tighten, it snaps, and it doesn't. This seems to be pretty tight, but man, it is way easier to get paint out than through this twist top one. And that, I bought these. I have, did I buy these too? Are these the same bottles? I have caps. Yeah, it looks like I bought the bottles with these same type of caps. Dropper bottles, it's like the top caps. I have to look up the other ones. I have more of them, but I should just start switching them. They're way better. They're not perfect, but they're better. It's such a frustration. There's so many, not any of them are great. My favorite probably right now are these dropper bottles, and I'm not certain, I don't have many of them. I love them because they are very clear, and these seem to, the nozzles seem to be pretty fixed, but the other brands, I mean, one that is very important when I'm using these paints is I've refilled this, so I had spilled a whole bunch of it. I did buy a big bottle of the refill, but this just comes off so easily, and it's ridiculous. Like, why would that come off that easily? So I don't know. I'm just so, there's always something frustrating about every single package. As a matter of fact, let's see. Here it is. Of course, every time I come out here, this one just keeps pressing up. Like, what is doing that? And it's purple wants to get out. I don't know. It's not like there's a ton of paint in there, and I'll press it down, and I'll come out here on Thursday. No, I won't be painting on Thursday. Well, maybe I will, but it comes out and it's a problem again. Wow, those are really different looking on here than they are on the models are close though. His teeth are a little, I made the lines a little strong. That one's a little better. That one's better too. A little bit too strong on the ink there. I might just flush a little bit of white onto it. But oops, on his tongue. I'm really not doing well here. Okay, so I have a little bit of the gray. I did change my palette. That's going to be too gray. Changed my palette paper, so, which is good. Okay, now you don't need to, if you're making a repair, you know, like a patch because you messed something up, that's too light. You don't have to, you don't have to do like the most perfect blend, because the contrast paints just rarely go on. They rarely go on super smooth because of the nature of I just want to lower the green so that it doesn't. I need some black. I need some black on the palette. I do wish I had more of, I do have another gray. As a matter of fact, let me just get it out of the package. Where did I put it? So they include, I got sent these, this is a cool gray. I got sent these packages by a friend that no longer works. So they got slate gray and cool gray. They are different than the other paints. These are from the AMP colors from Pro Acryl, Monument Hobbies. So these colors slot in. They do not, they're not Wow, there's a good amount of washes too. 2 washes in each one of these. I mean, obviously they probably, I don't feel any of these colors are actually in the existing palette, which is really awesome. I mean, that's what Army Painter's doing, the whole John Blanche set, plus they have some military colors and things like that. I would like to get the John Blanche sets, but here's the thing, I don't need any more acrylic paint right now. I mean, I have plenty here from Monument and Amp, and it will be, you know, I actually got like a base set as well. I don't know if they have any gray in that. I should look. What the heck am I doing? Could have another gray. It might be the one I already have. I did have quite a bit of Monument Hobby paints, but it was really nice of them to send this as part of a package that I got with the minis. I am very saddened, though, I talked about this on Thursday, that Shatterpoint is going, that's the one I kind of want to be working on. I have not done any real Star Wars stuff. Yeah, they're based out of Phoenix. I know, it's awesome. I'd love to go there, but like there's no need for me to go there. Like, I'm not that important of a painter. I'm just doing it for funds, and hopefully encourage others to do the same. Let's see, here we go. I have so much 40K stuff in Warhammer. I really need to like figure out. Let's see what's in here. So this was really awesome. They sent, ooh, it's got ivory and bright ivory, tan flesh. Has the black and white, which I really needed. Dark warm gray, bright warm gray. I don't want warm grays though. I am a cool gray person, but I think the neutral gray is also kind of warm that they have. That's my, I felt like I had more, but I don't think so. I need to probably order all their grays. I mean, you can mix grays, but I like just having grays on hand because there's a pretty good one in the Army Painter one that I was using last week as well. So I did buy, goodness, at least a year ago now, a 50 set, which is not like me, by the way. I don't believe you should buy full sets of anything. You buy what you need. But they had the 50 set of the War Paints Fanatic new set. And you know, that's a pretty interesting setup too, where they split the stuff where if you buy one set, when you buy a new set, it's mostly new. It's mostly different, you know, because the palette of their colors is pretty gigantic. It debuted with a lot. Wow. You know what? I am just going to get these out of here. They do not need to be in the box. I will use them more out. Bright brown gray, green brown. Okay. Burnt umber. Red orange. That looks like it's a pretty good orange. They have they're Nova orange. I mean, you know, I've only ever seen it on the computer. Slate gray. That's a gray. And then there's some washes in here. Payne's gray wash, brown gray wash. That might be what I would use for the hair. I was thinking of using strong tone. Steel, all right, another metallic I don't have. Their metallics are pretty good. I mean, if I were using them more, they're probably great, but they're pretty good for me. Now here's the problem. Adding these colors to the mix, I don't have storage space for them. I do, sort of. I'll figure it out. I have a bunch of frames of Warhammer Underworlds here that I need to work on as well. It's bad. I need to, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I need to spend more time out here. I hope, wow, I disconnected, so I'm a fool. Anyway. Oof. But yeah, it's been good. I really would love to paint more, though. It is one of the things I most enjoy. I have a setup sitting right over here to bring stuff into the house, and that is what I need to do. Actually, no, where is it? It's not right where I see it is. Or is it behind there? It is, no, it's not. I have like a tray that holds a good amount of paints. I think it will hold maybe hold these. Let me see if one of these bottles fit in the, they probably won't. It's probably Citadel and, you know, Vallejo Army Painter. Vallejo, I don't know. Here in Southern California, you'd say Vallejo. Maybe in Spain, you'd say Vallejo. Let me see. Yeah, it fits. It'll fit in a Games Workshop one. It's not as, that's close enough. Okay, maybe. I have one rack right here that is mostly like P3 / nitro / coat to arms stuff that would fit. That's got 16, 24, 32. 32 is not enough because I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, so 18. And how many are in the big set? 18 plus, oof, a lot. 24, so I have a lot. I need to figure it out. I do have space up above too. I could do it. I need to. I want to have these paints. I would like to get the monument colors together somehow. I'm not certain how to do that. But I do have like a 3D print. I backed a Kickstarter, and there's another one coming from another maker with, you know, really cool stuff. I backed one, don't remember what it was called. The guy is based in the Czech Republic, but I think he might be British. I'm just guessing, I don't really remember. But he made some great stuff. I've backed like all the campaigns so far. Just to like you know, first of all, he keeps modifying and updating the existing things, and then he'll let you back the new stuff too. Like you can get the updated files, which is awesome, you know. So amp, I wonder, like, wow, that's a pretty great one. Orange yellow, that is like a color I've been wanting here. Orange yellow, beige gray, yeah, that's beige, not gray. Dark navy blue, black red. Wow, that sounds interesting. Cool gray, that was one I was contemplating using. Let me see, there's a dark gray too, right? I just said that. Gray green. Brown gray, gray wash. I need to keep the washes separate too. Burn umber, slate gray. That's the dark gray. I should swap the lids out right now. Wow, the oranges are great. It is one color I feel I don't have enough of, are good oranges. There's one good one in the, I mean, there's probably more than one. There's a good one here, which I think is the same one, Wildfire Orange. This one was given to us last summer at Gen Con. Nikki and I went to a painting event for if you go and look at our Horrified D&D, those are the minis, although I painted them after, does that say peachy flesh? Peach flesh. Bright green blue, that's a pretty cool color. So, you know, these are going to be like geared towards the Marvel Crisis Protocol. Boy, I never can remember that name. It's so weird. There's a couple things I feel are named incorrectly. What was the other thing Nikki and I were talking about the other day? And it's like this name just doesn't stick in our heads. It's not named correctly. Now, that could be our brains. Certainly a possibility. Yeah, I don't have enough lids. I should see. I'm not even sure you can buy them. That's the crazy thing. I went and looked at the stuff recently. Wow, another orange. This is just orange. Do I have orange? I have some other colors. I have all of Rogue Hobby's colors. I have, let's see, what else do I have? So I needed the white and the black. My white is ancient. I think I bought it like 6 or 7 years ago from them. That was my first paint I bought. Everybody talks about old titanium, and it's pretty great. bold Pyrrhic, I have this color. This is also one of the earliest colors. I buy reds and purples, so I bet you I have the purple that they include in here, magenta or whatever. Blue, green. Okay, well, lots of great standard colors here. This is a lot. Wow, this is too much paint. I'm gonna have to put these, I'm not gonna put them back in here though. This purple looks great. Burnt red. I believe I have this magenta. This was another color. I'm always looking for, do I have it sitting here? Yes. No, that's not it. I have a bottle of Warlock. I don't remember. Warlock. What is the name? I should know that one. Where is it? And it is a great color. It's one that they do not make with Games Workshop. I actually use some of Sebastian's. Man, I wish. But you can see here's another magenta I bought back in the day from Vallejo. Why is that not focusing? But yeah, I buy it all the time. It's one of those colors like, do they got it? No, they don't. I can't remember what it's called. Warp Block maybe or something. Coal Black from Monument is pretty awesome. Yes, the black is great. Black and the wow, tan flesh. Man, I got a bunch of flesh colors. Ivory and bright ivory. I'm very excited about that. There's some camo green. Look at it in here. It's like mixed up so it looks like camo. That needs to be mixed up for sure. Jade. I gotta get these out of the way too much, but I just might as well open them up. Faded ultramarine, dark umber. Very cool. Bright warm gray. Hey, it's a gray though. I should sort them all out. Dark gray, gray blue. Golden brown. Great song. Dark warm gray. Golden brown. I need to listen to that song. Been a long time. Light umber. There you go. That was really nice of them. I've had them for a few months. I've just not, I was like not dealing with them because I don't have the storage space. But I am going to make the storage space. Now, what did I do with this other tray? I might need these trays temporarily at least. So don't toss them. But it is one thing, like that's another reason not to have a tremendous amount of paint. You just don't need, oof, this is so much stuff. Holy cow. Did I already put the white and the black out? I did. So yeah, so my white that I bought, I believe Creature Caster was the distributor and might have been the manufacturer. I don't remember. Made in Canada. So yeah, this is before they moved their operations to Arizona. They might have already been in Arizona. I don't know. Does sound like it's almost out. They do have the greatest glass mixing balls. They're so fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna sort these over here for now. I should have kept the trays out, but I won't. I'm gonna try to find all the grays, since that was the whole point. I mean, I have a lot of things listed as gray, but they won't be what I need. Wow, I was a fool. Okay. Let's get to painting. I really want to paint these guys. I want to be done with them. I mean, I'm not going to be done with them that fast, but I'm enjoying them. But I want to move on because I have so many other minis to paint. Purples are another color that I have a problem. Gosh, what is it? Warp Block. What was that color? I have it somewhere. I have the bottle name still. See if I can find it. I really love that color though. And it's a downer that it's not easily, I think that'll be fine with the grays. I don't need all of them. Gray green, bright brown gray. So yeah, having a bunch of colors is nice. I actually am a big mixer of colors, but for whatever reason, I like having more grays. And I mix them, but my problem is of course, some of them are too warm. This neutral gray that I have from the bright green blue, green blue. Is there another black? No, these are washes. I don't know if there was any other washes. There should have been. I will look at the box. That's the other thing that's pretty awesome about the John Blanche stuff is they have some contrast paint or speed paints in them. And oof, these washes. I've never used their wash. I've used their transparent colors. I really like them. I used them when I didn't have a good yellow from, I mean, it turns out it's a pretty good yellow. This was the color initially that, there might have been another yellow in the initial one, which I don't own, I don't know. It looks more orange, right? But when you use the contrast medium on it, it's a pretty great yellow, but it wasn't what I wanted. I really wanted a standard straight yellow. Now they got a lot of them. I mean, I've been using this one on this figure here to do the skin. So this is Iron Jaws yellow, and it's got like a dark element to it. But there's also these two colors here. One that's super bright, Bad Moon yellow, and then Imperial Fist. They're both just strong. That is a mixing bowl in there. That's one of the mixing balls from Monument Hobbies. I don't think they make them anymore. I've looked at the site. I sure hope they have the nozzles. As a matter of fact, let me just look right now. Hey, Goose. Goose. Ewoosh. I'm doing great. How you doing? Oh, IW6JS. Good gosh. I need I have actual reading glasses that, not reading glasses. I have glasses for playing games. I'm nearsighted, but like seeing games across the table is a nightmare. And, you know, tiny text, it's better now. This new thing's great. Let me see here. Let me see. But I love their stuff. You know, Monument Hobbies has some great. Oh, we did watch a Holly's documentary, which we had started, I guess, a long time ago. It was on Amazon, which was pretty cool. None of the guys were together. All the interviews were, one of them was in New York, I think, and the others were the Wizard Butts. I kind of want to get that set. I don't know that again, why? It's a color you can't buy, colors you can't buy again. Let me see. Dropper bottles, maybe. Hey, they do have the alternate lid set. So there they go. They're $6 for 10 or each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 lids percent. I should order some. Cool. Okay, back to painting. Thank you for the diversion here. Okay, so I really think I want to try the Strong Tone. I have a billion bottles of it. I need to figure out which one is the one I've used the most. I don't have a billion bottles, but I have a few. I would say this is probably the oldest one. It looks like it's been used. Oh no, this one is. This has been squished a bunch. Are they still made in Denmark? Made in the EU. Yeah, so this is, oh, it says Strong Tone. I like that it says Strong Tone here, but this is the Game Master one. So I got, as I said, they gave us a set of these, and the Game Master paints are War Paints Fanatic, and they tell you, so yeah, these are the two bottles I bought. You can tell they're the older label. Let me see, I have the new Strong Tone here, I think, as well. Soft Tone might be the one to do. Wow, that's Strong Tone as well? Good gosh. Okay, so these are the same between the two of these. But it was real nice of them to, they were like, please take the paints, we have too many. I wonder what Soft Tone is. I don't think I've ever used Soft Tone. We'll look at it too. Okay. So I use a fidget popper, I was cleaning that a moment ago, as a paint tray for washes and contrast paints and speed paints. I think it's pretty great. Adam told me about this at Tabletop Minions 2 years ago, maybe a little longer, 2.5 years ago. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. And it is really wonderful because you missed me, but I popped out some paint earlier. Now I really should wash this because goodness gracious, it's got a lot of dust in it. and flakes. You don't want them in there. You kind of need to keep it clean. But the great thing is when you do pop it out, it does a pretty amazing job of just completely pulling the paint out. So you don't have to worry too much about it. But I am going to just run a little bit of water through each of these to just clean out the dust. We have had a lot of wind, and it keeps putting us on storm alert, which is ridiculous here. We don't have that much wind. Last year we had the fires, end of January, that were just terrible news. And that made sense. Like, you know, we could be losing our power, trees falling down, and that's what it is. Trees falling down and knocking your power out. But we have solar, so it shouldn't be a problem. But you know, I get it. You don't want your refrigerator going out overnight. That's kind of like one of the major things they worry about. And you don't want power. You don't want your power out. But overnight, I don't feel like it's, other than running the refrigerator, I don't worry about too much. I'm not on the web. We're not streaming. We're not, you know, I could do the work tomorrow when the sun is up, type of a thing. Okay, so let's look at the soft tone. So this is the strong tone that's unused. We'll put that one back. This is the, wow. Is this mixing? I don't know. Sounds like maybe it's thickened up. I haven't used, well, I've used strong tone, but I might not have used this bottle. I didn't do as much of an analysis of which one was the one that was used. It sounds like it's in there. Sebastian introduced me to strong tone. I really like it. It's pretty amazing. And I'd love to have all the colors because they have colored, you know, like purples and stuff like that. Now you can use contrast paints as kind of a shade if you thin them. You use the contrast medium to dilute them. It's pretty awesome. You can do that with speed paints, contrast paints as well. Speed paints and contrast paints. I confuse the two all the time. But I do have all of the modern shades, and they do have some colors in there, like a purple. So I don't need any of these, any more of these, right? I already have plenty. So that's one reason why I'm not buying. I really don't need more paints. That's pretty thick. I would say that is not thinned up enough. Huh. So look at that. It's kind of chunky. So it could be that, you know, paints definitely need to be mixed. We'll mix it up some more. I don't know. There's no medium, I don't think, for it. So maybe thinned with water. Shake lightly. Well, I don't know if that's true in this case. So maybe I won't use this one. I'll just get it mixed up and then let it settle. Because I think the bubbles and stuff like that is what they're talking about. You're running this over something and you do not want it to, you want it to go smoothly. Very weird. I mean, so that's the other thing. It is the one thing I'll say about, and that has everything to do with the pigment and not to do with the paint, but the Monument Hobbies white, both the transparent white, let's see what this is like here. Yeah, it's not moving at all. And it's a pretty fluid paint. They have to be mixed all the time. And I've been terrible. I've been kind of like for a while there, sometime last year, I was going through and mixing things specifically, like doing the white and the black all the time. And then going through my paints, you know, when I had free time, and then would just do some before painting, you know. We'll see here. It sounds more fluid. Maybe just the stuff settled. It is a bummer, right? It is this is another reason to not have too many paints. If you can't get to them and use them, you're gonna run into these problems. And believe me, white should not be a problem for me. I use it all the time, but like I wasn't mixing it, or you know, I probably went through a phase where I wasn't necessarily using the white too much because when I'm doing the contrast paints, I don't, and the speed paints, I don't necessarily use much of it, but if I'm mixing white, you know, trying to fix the grays and stuff, but mostly I use, let me use my little poker here. Feels like, So I made this. It's one of the handles that these inexpensive paint brushes I've got. So these brushes here, these are taller, and they protect the bristles, which is fine. You know, they're fine brushes. They're nothing spectacular. But I just drilled a pin vise hole into this, and then put a paper clip in there. And you really should clean the bottles out, because I was explaining earlier that speed paint medium, I had that problem, and it was a mess. And I wasted a bunch of paint, and yeah, it's still pretty thick. This is weird, literally. Look at that. This is a tone. I don't know. That can't be good for the paint. So let's see here. Maybe I'm done with it. Now, I haven't had this that long. Oh, wow, this one's not easy to pull out the nozzle. Wow, it is thick. I wonder if that's in the top. Let me try to put that back in there. That's so funny. It's not really that big of a deal, I suppose. But yeah, it's probably not mixing here because of that. Let me put this other contrast. This is funny. I feel like I used this one semi-recently, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I used one of the others. It's certainly possible. Wow, okay. That can't be good. Well, that isn't consistent either. So now I have a little tool, there it is, that will scoop the stuff in. Glad I just cleaned it too. Wow, this is pretty great. Just scoops it right out of the palette here. Very cool. I thought that was going to be sharp edged. It's not that bad. It's especially great with this silicone. Okay. Yeah, I wonder what they use as the medium for this stuff. It's probably just an acrylic medium, but it's pretty thin when it goes on. So let's put this back in. Let's see if I can do this without making too much of a mess. That's funny. I wonder if this is, yeah. Oh, this is the newer one. I may be dumping these older ones. This one sounds more fluid. Huh. Maybe I've been using the wrong one. Like I hadn't used them for a while. It's an issue if you're trying to match, right? Will help me before I get carried away. Yeah, this is way better, the lid. What is going on? So I've never used, oh wow, is that the problem? Maybe. I didn't do that, that's a problem, I think. So let's see if I can get it out of there. Yeah, don't buy more paints than you need. And really buy based on project. Like, try to use what you have, consider something else that you might have. Now I'm trying to match superhero colors, which are generally similar lately. Okay, well, I have a distilled water. Let's put a little bit of that in there and see if I can clear out this nozzle. I think this is not good, so I really probably shouldn't waste my time with it. You can't see the mess here, but it's in there. So let's put that. It could have been, it's weird though, it's been sitting upright. I don't quite understand why. Well, we're gonna get this semi-flowing, and then I'm gonna show you what the real stuff looks like. This is not good. And it is a very strong case for not not having too many paints. A case for having a few amount of paints. Unless you think you're going to get to them all the time and you're painting all the time. Oops, that's not the right lid. Mix it up with this. Now I have paints that are 30 years old that are doing better than this one. This is sealed and upright. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, well, let's get the new one. Strong skin shade. Well, that's not what I need. I need strong tone. There we go. And they may have changed the makeup of it. What am I bumping in against here? Something. Maybe it's just the device. Feels like it's making noise that... I think it is. Oh. Maybe my mixer's dying. I shouldn't. I like this one, but it's not like industrial grade. Hey, that's cool. Shake lightly is what they say. Does it say it on here? Yes. Well, that's another thing that could be happening here. It could be foaming up. So I'm just going to shake it a little. Now, these other ones did not have mixing bowls. That is wow, this is very different. This is what it should be. Let me just shake it a little bit more. Okay, so there's the one. It's still in a puddle, you know, a dollop of it. Now here's the other stuff. First of all, it's flowing much more loose, and it's very strong. When they say strong tone, they mean it. Huh. Now, I don't think that I have a medium for... I do believe they have a medium, but I don't think I have it for the... let me get this tablet out of here. I'm going to try to break the tablet. That's great. Okay. I don't think I have a medium for it, though. Let me see. Or paint stabilizer. That might be one of the things. Brush on primer. Let me just put some of that in here and see what that does. But yeah, that's a different color. Does it explain more paint stabilizer? I do not. I believe that is either a medium or a... Yeah, I won't use that. It's a very different color. Now that's possible they changed the color. But then here's the actual... I do want this to be thinner, so I will thin it somehow. But yeah, it definitely flows differently. It's very dark. It is strong tone. Although it's really what this color looks like on here. It must be just that I thin it, or, you know, I mean, I don't know what Big Child used on these. They're from Spain. I thought they were from Brazil. I know that like a lot of the development of CMON stuff was down there, but I was wrong about that. Let's try this soft tone. Don't shake it too much. Let me see if there's some directions to thin it. I mean, soft tone might do it. Acrylic wash by Army Painter. Shake lightly. But yeah, they put the mixing balls in all of their paint now. I mean, a lot of companies are doing that. Only Games Workshop doesn't seem to be doing it. I'm not sure about I haven't got the new P3 stuff. I like the old P3 stuff. It was made by, ooh, that one seems like it's having a problem. This is a new bottle, by the way. Probably less than 6 months old. It's a different shade. Wow, there you go. It doesn't seem necessarily as dark, but it does seem pretty dark. Okay, well, I feel that that one strong tone is history, and maybe the other one, we'll see. Very funny. I don't mix anything in them. So let me put this on something. I don't want to, well, needs to be dark on parts of it. Let's just see what we got here. It's hardly noticeable on the gray, of course. Yeah, this is pretty good. Oops, you can't see it. So I'm going to put a little water in it and dilute it a bit at the ends. It seems like it's lighter towards the face, darker towards the ends. Oops, painting on one of those gold discs. Sorry, this thing always makes it not focus. Now I may need to do a bit of a whitewash to change the tone. It's not, I'm going for the minimum amount of actual regular painting, but I should have a little bit of water in the palette. But yeah, we watched the Holly's documentary, which is pretty cool, and then we watched the McCartney one that's Man on the Run, which was pretty good. I was reading some reviews of people complaining like that they've heard this, but I didn't know any of that stuff. I knew about the breakup era stuff, I'm using too big of a brush. And this other one's too small. So let's try this one. Because I can't control it enough. That kind of looks like it, the illustration from the paint job that Big Child did for this. That's pretty nice. So I could go back and do a little bit of highlighting on it. If I want to bring it back to a little bit more closer to a white. That's cool though, looks really neat. Hey, how you doing? Scott. I'm trying to, yeah, I don't know what the paint there is. It's very weird. But, you know, everybody's, I'm just as guilty, as eager to just buy more paints, but you really, really shouldn't. This soft tone's pretty nice. Now, I'm not using it necessarily in the exact ratio. I have water here that I am adding to it, and I will probably build it up as it dries to be a little bit darker towards the ends. Sorry, not in the shot. But if you know, if you're painting a lot, then it's great. Do what you got to do to have it. I just don't paint obviously enough. I'm really, I don't know. And I need to come out here and mix the paints more often. Sorry. Boy, this is the latest thing. My photo apps are, you know, the storage that I have. So I have like Google, and I have them all. Apple and Amazon. They're all like constantly reminding me about like photo memories. And I'm like, not really. I know a lot of people felt the strong tone, the tones were, especially the strong tone, were the best paints that Army Painter had there for a while. Although I heard the airbrush paints were good. I did not use them. I don't think I have any of them. But they were also the first to do the triad stuff, which is great. And they literally are just 3 different paints in that each section there. But and I think they're still the same, but they're still good paints. But the rest of the systems, I mean, particularly, I don't think the contrast speed paints do, but the new War Paints Fanatic are in triad stuff. And I believe that all the new colors that come into it are also part of, you know, like indicated where they're at in a group. So I believe it makes some of them greater than 6. Just a little bit of green on there. I really did a terrible job on that. See if I can touch that up, dry it up a little bit and fix it, and then put the wash over it later. I did not put the black in the palette. It's very green. I don't think I should worry about it, but I'm going to, of course. So again, I'm making my own butt gray because I should go through these and see what they are. Let that dry because it'll make a terrible mess if I try to paint it. Let me do the bottom of his beard. I do want this to be darker. Is drying relatively quickly. It's just this one here that I touched up will be a problem. So let's put that aside for a moment. So what I'm doing is kind of putting the the least thinned tone at the bottom, and then adding a little bit of water to bring it up to the scalp. Now mostly these things dry darker, so they're probably not going to be as light as I want them. This guy looks pretty good though. I do want to darken his up at the end there too. Now I thinned this down a little bit. I wanted it to be a little brighter on the front. Excuse me. Still not entirely dry. I'm sorry, you're not seeing it. Need a little bit more in the palette. Thanks, Cribbage and More. I do like the green. I ended up redoing. I can't even really tell which one was the one. This might have been the one that had too dark of a undercoat. It is, but you can't really tell. The green was too dark. I went in and light painted some gray over his skull, and then I did some brightening it up with some light green and white, I think. It looks pretty good. I need a little bit more of the soft tone. I really like the soft tone. It's nice. I would like to have some of the others. It's funny though, I did get the strong tone from the Game Master set too. Need to mix them, but I will never get through all of them. But yeah, I'm real happy with the skin. I think it looks great. I like it much more than the Hulk I've done. I don't know where my Hulk is. Now Hulk, I don't know. I was following some other design. Boy, there is some issues on his tongue. There's definitely some. I got green all over the place when I let that dry, and maybe the pink will pop it out, because there's definitely a bit of green on his tongue. Not that it matters. So I do have some metallic that I'm going to try, but I don't think I'm quite ready for it. I think I want to do the purple. So I'm kind of going into the, the recesses of the beard here to paint in some darker streaks. His shirt is blue, like his whole outfit is blue. And notice I have had a problem with that again. I keep bumping it. Leave him be for a bit, and then I will probably come back and brighten up some of the streaks as well. So I've used the white, the bold titanium white, and I actually just mixed in some of the I mixed in some of the soft tone. Because I want it to match. It may be a little too dark, particularly for this mustache stuff here. Oops, you're off camera. I'm off camera. I want a little bit to go down, but I'm, you know, mostly looking to have it darker towards the ends, so. I think that'll pop a little bit more once it's surrounded by some other colors, you know. Oops, get him out of the way. Okay, let's get a little tiny bit of pink. What colors did I use to get the greens? I used, the two colors I used were this, which is the contrast Caranderas green, and I used the contrast medium to reduce its intensity, and then I used this green, this yellow, kind of a greenish yellow, it's contrast Iron Jaws, and I put on low, reduced intensity with the contrast medium to make it thinner, and then built it up, and then also added the yellow, like at the peaks. You could see, like on his 6-pack or 4-pack there, a little bit of that. I went back in here and brightened up the back of his arms that way, and it works pretty great. It doesn't take a ton of mixing. Now I'm basically kind of doing a, and I also, this is the color I use, I'm sorry. Also, on the one that I had touched up. This guy, I brightened up his forehead with the Pro-Acryl Rogue Hobbies Signature Series paint, the bismuth yellow, and it's pretty great. I was trying to match sort of what was going on with the other ones, and it was a little harder than I expected because he was too gray when I touched up, because I painted it I think used this green and it was too dark. Started off with it too dark. So I painted it gray and tried to brighten it up a bit, and then painted over it again, then tried to brighten it up more by using the yellow and using also the Iron Jaws yellow, and they work great. It is contrast, so they're not as deep, but you're using the shading. As you can see, these are all painted with black, white, and gray to give it this highlight like it's in the sun. Man, this one is really having this knee. Is this knee or another knee? No, it's this knee. Let me see if I can touch him up a little bit. Now that's probably because I'm handling it a little too much. Now I'm going to paint it a blue. What is his belt? Oh, it's sash. It's red. Plus he's got red coming out of, oh, it's the sash coming out the back end here. Okay. I need to do that too, but that's going to be like a later color. I generally work inside out. So I think I need to do, I'm eager to do that purple, but I think I need to do the blue for his body suit next. And then I'll do the purple, then I'll do the gold. I'm not really certain what, this looks supposed to be like it's maybe kind of a metal, which is crazy, but I'll let that dry and we'll do the blue. Now here's the thing about these paints. You really, really have to varnish them. The contrast paints and the speed paints are thinner than standard acrylics. Now, you can see this is a primer that I put on here, and the primer is usually tough, but I bumped this knee enough that it's a problem, and I will have to put some varnish on there, and I probably will put a gloss varnish on and then a matte varnish after that. The gloss varnish is more durable, so we'll see. He's got leather boots. Oh, I want to do the tongue. Let's do that real fast. I don't need a lot of it. Let's shake it up a little more. So I just want to fix this green and see if it'll be better. Yipes. Okay, we'll not mess with that anymore. Look how much is, it just keeps, obviously it builds pressure beneath it and pushes it out. It's really ridiculous. Okay, that should be good. So the blue, that is going to be the challenge. I have had a tough time finding blues I like. Are you doing multiple sets, or does each mini reflect the character at different? This is awesome. No, I'm doing multiple sets. That would be awesome to have them like beat up. No, these are all different. These belong to, one of them's my set, one of them's Scott from BG. Look at this, I've touched it again. Scott from BG, and another one's a friend of mine. I just figured if I'm doing it, I tried to convince Brian to send his over as well, because I'm painting them. Although 4 is a lot, 3 is a lot. I probably would be better off with 2, but it's fine. I like it because it's challenging, right, to spend the amount of time on it. But I've never thought about doing ones that would be different stages of combat. That's pretty amazing. So that has some pink on it, his tooth. Okay, so blue. I will want to build towards, now I have some good blues. Blues are one of the colors that you got a lot of. Blue and green seem to be the majority. I have way more blue in the contrast paints, but this is a kind of a darker, seems like a darker blue lightened. I don't know what that color is. It could be this. No, maybe. Let's mix it up. It has a lot of pigment in it, so it could be an issue. I feel like this is getting worn out. No. I really like the idea of doing multiple sets at different stages. I do have some multiples of minis, but not a lot. Personally have multiples. I have like, as a matter of fact, I think I really only have, I got like the base game and maybe Enter the Spider-Verse. The very first one, let me look at that. I can actually look at my Amazon purchase back. They occasionally have really great prices on this. So yeah, wow, this was almost 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. Not quite. But it came with, this is a pretty good deal. It's the base game. It looks like it's still available. The Enter the Spider-Verse, which has Green Goblin, which is a fantastic mini, and it has Doctor Strange. Let's see. What it cost at that time. I believe it was it was $30. So that's $19 less than it is right now. So keep your eyes, they do have specials. And it's worth it. The main game comes with like 10 minis, and Enter the Spider-Verse probably has 6 or 8. This is sort of the color-ish. It would be good because it's a different color. I could also mix it with something to make it darker. Now I don't have a ton of experience with these ones with there's a lot of light pigment at the bottom. And I have, it does look like I've opened it. Maybe not though. Yeah, I've opened it. So I've used it for at least a little bit, or maybe I think I put a mixing ball in there. I honestly think I'm going to order some of the new bottle tops. I'm pretty certain I have more aside. So I have 10 bottles with those lids, probably 10 lids somewhere, which I need to track down. And I need another 20. Well, more than that, because I put it on this one. I don't know if I've actually put it on any of the other ones. Nope. Oh, maybe the translucent purple. I wish you could choose when you're buying them, because it's kind of wasteful. I will not use the twist tops. Pretty sure. Hey, Sarek, how you doing? It's still a lot of pigment at the bottom. You really want to get it mixed up. I saw an Etsy marketplace guy. I kind of want to buy it. It's expensive. I mean, it's relative. It's not that expensive. It's $100 and something for one of the boxes, plus there's another box I think to store the cards in. I would like to buy those and try them out. I go on Etsy to see, like, they actually have playing mats. They did. I actually don't know. Because I contemplated. I can't remember whether I contemplated it before or I was looking for somebody else. I bought the second wave, so the X-Men playing mat, which had I did not buy the first phase, because I thought, it said it was wow, look at that, it's coming out of there. I thought it said it was 36 inches across or something. I mean, I don't remember exactly what it was, but whatever it was, I was like nervous that it was going to fit. And the second wave, had a mat that was stitched on the edge, which was very nice. And then the third wave actually made the mat smaller and had like zones for the cards that I think leaned on the edge of the mat, which made a lot of sense to me, like being able to pick them up and stuff. So maybe, I mean, I don't need to buy another mat, but anyway, I keep looking and see what people are offering on Etsy. I really love, I mean, paint racks that I use are from, boy, I have the sticker somewhere. Goodness gracious, he's in like Coppell, Texas. I really like his racks. Now, they're delicate to put together. I've broken a little bit of some of them trying to slide them together. You basically need to, in my opinion, you kind of need to sand the joins and then glue it as you're putting it together, and delicately press from the edges, not from the center. Or if you do the center, because, let me see if I can show you here. This is a smaller version. This is what's great about the racks. They actually have other racks that can nest underneath the others. And so here, you can see, this is maybe a little bolder, but like pushing here, bad news, because this is MDF. You have to push here. So you push in these edges and here to get it to assemble, to slide in together. And some of them are a little bit more challenging. But you know, they're laser cut. You can see where the connection to the boards were. It's pretty well done. And I really like them. I bought many. I'm not buying any more. I have many that are still kind of unused. Let me see if I can find that one paint. It should be like really right there. It is not though. Yeah, it doesn't. So I bought bottles that did not fit these sets. And I think I tucked that one away because I'm not using it, even though I love the color. Let me see if it's right here. I see one of the bottles. This is pewter. I don't know. I have to track it down, but I have some of the original, still some original Games Workshop, not that original. I have some that are earlier, late 1990s, early 2000s, that I'm still, look at that, it's pretty much mixed in. You really need to do that. And it's kind of frustrating, like, if you let it settle. This is one reason why, I mean, I don't know how long it takes for it to settle and be bottom, but what I might do is do this color, reduced intensity with the medium, and then put a darker blue wash to give it the shading that it's doing. I mean, it's already going to have some shading. You can see how kind of bold the shading is here because of the zenithal highlight. It's hard to match. Like, you know, this guy does not look the same as the others. And I do airbrush them at the same time, but they just don't come out the same. I kind of like this guy's the best though. He looks good. Clunk. I always give the nicer one to everybody else. It's hard for me to choose. Most of the time they're actually pretty much similar. Plus this has a lot of great stuff on the base. Usually I don't do too much with that, but you can see it's got Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and they've got Hawkeye's arrow. And I guess this is Iron Man, his mask, yes. Seems kind of huge. I'm not sure what the wing is. Is that Captain America? Or Falcon, or there's something else here, right? I don't know what that is. Huh. I love it though. I love the wreckage. That's actually some of the great stuff on their minis, and they've only gotten better. This is the third wave. I really do hope they get the DC Superheroes United together. I hope they're saying end of the year, which in the case for me, as far as just painting time, I'm fine with that. But I'm sure it will be next year. There's just no way unless I don't know. I hope they can stay together. I do like what they do. I like this blue. It reminds me of another color that I liked when I was painting acrylic when I was in college. Doing art. I almost feel like I should put more in. Well, I can't. I do need to stop at some point today. So I'll just fiddle with this and see how it looks, and then maybe a week from Thursday I can get back to this. I'm really hoping to be able to paint at some point. This might not be intense enough. I might have overdone it, which is fine. But yeah, I can use another blue as the shade, another contrast paint. Yeah, you can store the pot upside down, but then it's all going to be in the lid, right? So I'm not really certain what the best solution of all that is. I think I need to migrate from this brush. If you can see, it's got a pretty hefty hook on it. It's not that terrible, and I might be able to rejuvenate it. I think I might have done some of these brushes where I put them in hot water and it snaps back. Now, that was bad because I left paint in it just now, and it's already drying. Where is the soap? I was looking for it the other day, and I did not track it down. It's got to be around here somewhere. It's a mess in here. We actually were getting wrapping for my mom's gift. We bought some stuff, which we should not do. Oh, there it is, right? Ow. I did. I put them both together. I put Jen's fantastic. So that's changed. This is the older Monument Hobbies one. They now have a different. But this stuff's pretty great too. I'm sure the new one is probably similar, but I think this is handmade. Drunken Brush Goop. Gentastics. Drunken Brush Goop. It's pretty good stuff. But I love this. This is the stuff I've used for decades. Since college, since high school. And I really feel I have the original bottle of it. Somewhere the thing is right here. It's awesome. We have a wind advisory, which means we will probably have storm alert. Wow, what did I do? Okay, let's see what it looks like. I do have another one of these brushes out, and I have many. It's one of the things I love about it is they are not terribly expensive, and they are pretty great. But where is the other? So there should be one right here. This one's a little tired as well, but not as bad. So I will put that one aside. Actually, I wanted to clean it. That was what I was doing. But yeah, you can store, there are ways to store the contrast mediums upside down. I actually have a rack that I designed, that I laser cut, that does that, but it's not ideal. And it's also not great just because I feel you're going to have issues the other way around, right? That's going to be all near the top of the bottle. What you really need are like, they have those storage racks for watches that are auto wind, that are they just run all the time. And I'm sure that's because they're probably delicate mechanisms and it's bad if they don't get used. But I need that for paint, that it just just rotates the jars. That would be amazing. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Let's do it on the back first, since it's already dark. It's going to be light, but it might be good. And I also like, I always say it, I creep up on the color intensity I want. That's in general. You shouldn't really have to do that with contrast paint. But I still do, because some colors are just so strong. Wow, this kind of looks like Aethermatic, what is that color? Aethermatic green? Which is one of my favorite colors, but that one's more green blue. I don't know though, here it is. This is painted with Aethermatic. Yeah, it's not the same. Come on, focus. Oh, I got too many brushes here. I do love this Aethermatic green. It's not the right color for this though. Auto winder was in Doctor Strange. That's correct. I need that. I don't, but I need that. I have, some watches. I think my first watches like that were Swatches. They did some automatic wind watches that were really cool. I liked them. Oh, his pants are blue too, so let's go for that. So I suppose one thing about doing it this way is that I will be putting more coats because the medium is the body of the paint. Yipes. So it might be thicker when I do this, you know, building up to it. But, you know, it is not the purpose of contrast paints. Contrast paints are meant, and speed paints, are generally meant to just be a single coat over a like white or gray undercoating. I have done undercoating like this before for standard paint jobs where you get the idea of the shading, but I did not make the connection to contrast paints until 2020 when Adam Smasher, Uncle Adam, did some streams with us during the pandemic when we had our live streams, you know, our convention streams, which were interesting. In some ways I miss those, but they were hard. But when I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's 100%. Because I'm not used to the transparent paints. I mean, when you're using acrylics, I've painted with oil paints, but I only ever really liked painting with, I don't like the mess of oil paints. Although you did get really nice results because, you know, you just keep blending. The wet blending happens because the paint doesn't dry quickly. Wet blending is an attempt to try to fix that mistake about acrylics that you can't. Hard to blend. There are mediums. I have Glaze and Wash lets you do that. I have the retarder from Golden. I think I bought this at Continental. It's such a bummer. Hobby store that's kind of near us, an art store that was kind of near us, gone. They were gone, I think, before the pandemic, which is unfortunate. But people don't use, you know, mostly art is done on the computer now. And you can replicate, I mean, we were discussing it, Nikki and I were talking about the other day, with applications we used, that we bought and used back in the day. We loved two programs, one called Painter and one called Sketcher. Sketcher was exactly the same software essentially, but only monochrome. But what was great about those is they had paper. So you would, and it looked legitimate. It wouldn't feel like it. Looked great. And it was sad. I think Sketcher did not last long because, you know, you could obviously just do it in Painter, but I think we bought Sketcher first. Like, wow, this is great. We got to get Painter. And this was mid-90s. Nikki and I met in 93 when we were both in college. You can see it dries pretty quick. Let's just put another coat on here. I'm sorry you can't see this. You don't want it to sit in pools too much. Now, I want it to be kind of pooled because I want it to be darker around the edges a little bit, but I don't necessarily want it to be a thick paint of that. I probably will come in with a wash or a glaze. Probably a wash. We'll let that dry. We'll do the other ones. We might get all of them mostly done with the paint, and then I'll leave this paint out. What was the name of it? Frost Heart. There's some green here too, man. I really made a mess. So I'm going to use one of the sets. I do have all of them from the Army Painter speed paints, is the metallics. I like the metallics. I'm going to go for it. I probably will do it thinner to let it build up and see if the shading will work. You do see the difference. It's not the same as regular speed paints. It's actually kind of beneficial because it is a thinner paint. Let me put some other paint here so I can wick some of this pool off of this one here. You don't want to have these pools like this. I don't know if you can see it. You don't want to have these pools like this. It's really not good. They don't read well. And it's clear it's too thick. So what you do is you kind of push it around once you get it on the Mini, and you make sure that it doesn't build up in too many spots. You want some of it, right? That's part of the whole point of contrast. But like if it's a giant pool of it, it's not going to look good. So yeah, when I'm using it in the manner that I'm doing it now, I'm using it more as a translucent paint that's going to have the shading underneath do the work. When you do the standard way that they want you, they really, I think they had a, somebody did a video, it might have been Lila Mev, where she claimed that Games Workshop has a methodology that they want you to do with the speed paints, which is a lot of paint, I think. I mean, of course that makes sense, but as far as like a company wanting you to buy more paint. But there's a reason for it. I don't remember what it was, but I should try to go back and find that video. But like, there are different ways to, you know, I mean, you use the paint however you want to use it. I really like this method. My only problem with my method in it, because I'm probably doing it too dark. But I didn't want it to be bright comics look. But I do want it to be somewhat like that. So one of the things I do is I definitely cheat on the faces. I put more bright white or gray on around their face and top of their head and stuff like that. I want the focus to be on that, and then maybe a little bit like on their knees and, you know, the rear end, if it's leaning, you know, if they're leaning forward. I'll bump up the brightness a little bit. But I want you to focus on their face. That's really the whole point of it. Yeah, I bet they were writing me about the codename stuff, which is exciting. I actually have to, I don't know if you're an admin, Chad. They have some images they want to have approved for those things, and I tried to do it quickly before I got on the stream, and I ended up having all these troubles, so I did not get to it. This is going to be purple. I'm just going to let it go. If you can go track down the images, it's for both of the code names, and let me look at it. I can maybe send you the email, but you probably know where it's at better than I do. I do it once in a blue moon, and I never know where it's at. Good gosh. Okay. The two games are Drillers, 3 games. Drillers, Critical Role, Adventures, and Critical Role, Adventures Vox Machina expansion. There are images in there that they would like approved. If you could do that for me, that would be wonderful, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Chad. Eric was so good about dealing with the press stuff. I do miss him. Now, it was funny, I was reading like his final article, and he was talking about how, you know, we don't see each other that much, which is true. Like, I would see him a couple times a year. Well, I saw him a lot in 2019 and the beginning of 2020. It was funny how much stuff we ended up doing before the pandemic. lockdown. But Eric is so dry, but I do love talking to him and stuff, and driving him a little bit crazy with my spazziness. One time in Nuremberg, he was like, "I'm going to stay behind and you can go look around." Come on, focus. I think I need it right in the middle. It does seem to be better. I think I changed the weight, like where the focus is supposed to be, and it's narrowed it down so that I could get it to go quickly. It seems to be pretty good. It is Maestro, but I don't know what their source was. I don't even know what Maestro is. I mean, I know it's Hulk of some sort, but you really want to leave the paint alone once you got it on, because you start to tear and I'm fiddling with it, you can see here, like a fool. Do not do that. You want it to just let it dry and then wick up any major pools, and then, because it'll take a long time to dry, and then put another coat on or something like that. I mean, I feel like a lot of their stuff, now this is not in, I don't think Maestro's in any of the stuff, you know, the different Marvel projects, film or animated, but a lot of the stuff I feel is influenced by what was coming. You know, they would, I mean, in the very first box set they had Taskmaster, and Taskmaster was in Black Widow. So I don't know that, but why would they have Taskmaster? I mean, I don't know. People that know comics probably knew why, but I just like, who is this Taskmaster? Now, I don't think it's the same as what it was in the movie, but I don't know. I never talked to Eric about it. I know we used to see him all the time out here. So I know he took meetings about that stuff. He was not the comic lore guy, though. Andrea was the comic lore. Eric was the game mechanism guy. How are we doing here time-wise? It is almost 1. I will probably stop. Let's see if this other stuff is dry enough for me to do another coat so we can just see an end result here. Or not end result, but closer. Did I touch some blue somewhere? It really should use the paint handles if you have one. You don't even have to have anything great. I have these pill bottles as a paint handle. I usually use the poster tack. I need to get blue tack. And I have this, this is a dowel. I've had this forever as a paint handle. And I have the poster tack on here. It works pretty great. Usually I use this one to paint the edges, the base, the edges of the base. Let's see, is this the one that's done the most? He does look the driest. Let's look at this one. He's mostly dry. And then, of course, I'm pretty sure this is the one I just did. It is. Well, the jeans or the pants look a little bit better now. I'm almost out of the paint. Now, this is just thinned down, so I should be able to come up with a close approximation. And it is another, they don't need to be identical between the minis at all. That's just me having fun trying to do it close. I had a project in college that I did where I was trying to do two paintings identically, as identical as I could make it. They were a mixed thing where I was airbrushing and hand painting. And they did not look alike. I mean, you could see they were meant to be the same subject, but they did not look alike at all. I think they're underneath here on the table. I'm almost out of the paint. And it's starting to thicken up. I actually like pulling paint out of the pots, but number one, it's a risky mess. But number two, the paint dries up really kind of quickly. It doesn't dry up, it just starts to get thicker. I watched Artist Opus. Byron does painting on there, and I'm going to mix a little bit more because I'd like to finish this guy. What he does when he starts you got to get painting in. Hey, Nick. What he does is when he gets close to the end of a bottle of paint, he puts it into he puts the old bottle into the new bottle. They're not full when you get them. And that way it gets it to the level of paint that he wants it to be, which is a little bit used and fresh at the same time. So he gets the thicker paint in there. And then, gets the other, stops using the other bottle, which is great. Airbrushing is not difficult. So in the case, I airbrush all of the contrast, the highlighting. It's really not that hard. I don't know what I did there. I think that's a hair that stuck there, which is bad, but works great for this kind of stuff. I used to paint, I use what they called frisket film to do some of the work I did, like I was doing precise illustrations. My senior project in high school was like an award winner, but for like the design category, I can't remember. It wasn't a traditional, there was bias against the techniques back then, but my parents had given me an airbrush when I was pretty young and got me what I thought was a pretty good one at the time. And I believe it's fine. I still have it. It works great. People have problems with Badger, but I got to tell you, some of their brushes are fantastic. And I have many others. I have Harder and Steenbeck, and I have ones from Iwata, Gallery. I use a lot of them, and I really actually very much like the ones I used, the ones from the back in the day. My favorite, though, probably is, I do love I have this one, which was one of the Hard and Steenbecks from Squidmar. It's nice. It's the most basic, well, not the most basic airbrush they sell, but the most basic, help you get good at airbrushing things. Like, you can't pull the trigger back here unless you push down. So they want you to have the air going before you start the paint flowing, so you don't have splatter, which is great. It's great technique kind of a thing. my favorite modernish airbrush is a Badger Sotar 2020. Really a great brush. But I do like the Harder and Steenbeck. I used a older Harder and Steenbeck. I have an older Harder and Steenbeck Infinity, which is nice. And then I used Evolution, which I liked as well, but I had to clean that one. That was Sebastian's, and he did not clean them well. I'm like, you do need to do this. But you know, you do what you want to do on your tools. He just was having troubles with it. I'm like, well, it's not clean, so. And I don't do a super deep clean, but I do a pretty, you know, it's a pretty, I don't leave anything to chance when I clean the airbrush. And I love airbrushing. I mean, I love it for undercoating. I've painted minis. I did some of it here where I did the spotlight, searchlight glowing on this. I airbrushed some white here and then, you know, painted stuff on too. So I did the white, then the yellow, which was awesome. Did I do anything on? I didn't do any as others. I did Dormammu. Is Dormammu here? I don't think he is. Because I've only painted one of those. I need to paint 2 more. That one I did with airbrush, which was great. Mixed, you know, both paints and paintbrush and airbrush. It was really awesome. Is this the guy I just painted? Wow, is it already drying that fast? It is the one I just painted. Wow. This is not dry enough, which I won't do, because if I paint here, it'll tear this paint and then you'll have a light spot. You really want it to dry. And this is part of the problem I was talking about, leaving pools of it. You don't want pools because it's going to do exactly that. I did pull that out, so it'll dry faster. Let's look at this one. This one's pretty good, so we'll put it on here. I think Nick said he had an Iwata Neo, which is a nice brush. I like the Iwata that I have. I never had one and I just wanted to try it. I'm a lunatic. I have 20-something airbrushes. I don't need that many airbrushes. Oh, I said I have gallery. I have 2 or 3 gallery airbrushes. I think I have 2. They're fine. They have some features that I think are phenomenal. I think they're mixing, the high polished cups are great. What it does for me is you still have to clean heavily when you're done if it dries, but when you're using it and you're pouring paints in, you're changing colors if you're using the same, you know, doing it at the same time, like just a quick, I feel it's a better clean, a little easier without letting it build up flakes. You do not want any of the paint to flake. Well, it's wet under there. You don't want any of the paint to flake and get into the workings of the airbrush. And that is a problem. So here's pools again. I try to wick these up. I need to do his pants, so I'll just pull some of it off of here. So you do got to be cautious. You don't want to just glop it on, regardless. I just put it on his, whatever these things are on his arms, bracers or elbow guards. Let's let that dry. It's pretty good. See, that's too dark right there. Should have wicked that up. Well, we'll do a little bit of this guy here and then maybe finish him up when he's completely dry. Well, it won't be finished, but I'll be closer on the blue. Murphy was working on some Tyranids, which I never saw pictures of, Nick, if you're around still. Probably not, but I should write you and see if you can send me some. They sounded awesome. And I'm really jealous of the idea, and it sounds like the technique is pretty amazing. It'll probably be okay if I paint down here where his jeans are. You can see near the boot, too wet. I need to work on this too. Well, that pretty much will do it on those. Cool. Oops, I just touched his back. Ugh. Really don't like when I do that. It's wet enough that it's not a problem, but I've done it when it's gelling and I've ruined it. Not ruined it, but I have to fix it. I like my Iwata HPCS. That's one I have. Had it for about 20 years and it still chugs away. I also have a OEM Badger that was branded by, yeah, that one sounds cool. Also a Badger Chrome. Yeah, so which one is the OEM, the Reaper one? I know you told me you bought that one. I can't remember the name of it, the Reaper name, but do you know what brush it was? It also had the different, that one had the different connection, correct? They had this style connection on it. Wow, this is terrible. That's too tight. Wow. There we go. So Badger was talking about, they have a smaller connector than this. I like it in the sense, number one, I've used it forever, but additionally I like it because it's less bulky here where my hand is, you know, because I'm holding it. But ultimately it's not that big of a deal. I kind of wish they would change just to make it so that it would, you know, everything would fit. No, I have to have two different, I have to have this quick disconnect adapter, and then I have like and you have to have the Badger ones. I actually have the Grex adapters for the Badger and they don't work. They strip the airbrush. I don't have a Badger sitting out, but they have a smaller connection. And nozzles, I don't actually have one of their, actually I can show you one before I call it a day here. I have a lot of airbrushes. So yeah, you can see here, this is a standard, this is a Anthem It's a much smaller connector and much smaller here as well, right? Which is fine. It works great, but it's not standard. And you have to use, this is a Badger branded, I'm pretty certain, Badger adapter. And the other one's cross thread. I could never get it to work. I'm like, how the heck did these guys ever get it to work? So I literally had to pull it off of all of them. So here's the Sotar. I really like this Sotar airbrush. It's a detail airbrush, but it does a wonderful job for everything. I have multiple nozzles for it, but boy, you have to be careful. It's it does not protect the needle. It's not made for, I mean, in the olden days when my old airbrush, I dropped it and dented it so many times, you know, bent the needle, had to get new needles, new nozzles. So yeah, it's a bummer about that. But I think that for the one for Reaper, they actually had a different, the larger, which is like the Iwata style connector. And you know, it's that way on, this is the Gallery. I like this airbrush, it's nice. I think I just have two though. I did not buy the whatever the new one is. It was too expensive, and it turns out it has some problems, at least in the initial run. Wow. I also think I had problems with my, it's not the Neo, it's the Mobius. I think my Mobius had issues. Anyway, let me cut to the main camera. First of all, let's see. I'm not in that thing. I have no idea. Let me see if I can command tab through this stuff. Oh, that's Netflix. There we go. Yay, okay. So let's see if there's somebody we can raid. Probably Amanda. I need to go get Amanda's thing fixed. Now, she might not be going yet. Although I think it's noon, so I think she's already going. I am terrible. I really should have done that last night. I knew I was going to forget it. But let's see if we can raid somebody. I especially don't want to... Oh man, this is terrible. They don't have the following half the time. She maybe starts a little bit later. Actually, you know what? She does start later. Okay, well, let's see who we can find here. It's a bummer. There's like a whole... Quick filters. Can I add a filter? I want to do the following. Filter by category. Following. Nope. Ugh. Escape. I've somehow selected. Yeah, let's try this again. Couldn't find any channels based on your filters. What is going on here? Oh, this is terrible. Twitch is strange. I love the rating tools, man. I love it. But I don't like this. Plus, am I touching the tab? I must be touching the... It's a huge trackpad, which is great, but if I have a hand on there, it doesn't help anything. Yeah, why is that filter gone? This is all music. Let's just look board games. It's nice to search for the, hey, it's me. It's a French guy, which would be cool if I could speak French. Well, darn it. Well, darn it, I don't see anybody we could raid. Well, maybe next time. Everybody, thanks for joining me. Usually Rahdo's up or something. I don't know. We will be streaming on Tuesday. Nikki and I will play some games. Thursday at 5:30 Pacific. And then Tuesday we will be busy. We have a team meeting so we won't be streaming that day. And then I'll be back to painting a week from Thursday. So everybody have a great week. Try not to take it too busy and rough. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for the chatter. And have a great rest of your day.